guys, welcome to Animal Homegrown Programming. You've made it to day 3. It's pull day. Hit legs, hit push day. This is the last day to hang in there and get an off day. By far, the pull day is the most challenging home workout to do when you only have body weight and bands, especially if you don't have a pull-up bar. So this one was a challenge to program, but I came up with some really good stuff for us to do, and I've already run through this workout, and it is taxing. I promise you that. You'll hit reps that are low, and we can definitely stimulate good growth. So we're gonna start this program off, and just like all the previous days, just doing a 5-minute general cardio warm-up. Like I said, I do Stairmaster, but you can go out walking or do any form of cardio just to get your heart rate up. Then we're gonna go directly into our warm-up exercises. Just like on push day, we're gonna go back through YTWL. So we can do that with a band or with some water jugs that you have. Like I said, I have my 4-pound animal water jugs that I use. YTWL, it's just going through the letters. So going through a Y motion, a T, a W, then an L. With the Y, keep your elbows locked, going into full shoulder extension and creating that Y, so spreading your band apart as you're going up. The T, palms facing each other, elbows locked, going all the way through horizontal shoulder abduction, and make sure you fully protract the scapulas at the end range of the motion. Going into W, keep the elbows tight, locked into your sides, and just performing external rotation. And lastly, L. So you're going to be performing just a row with the elbows flared out at 90 degrees, and then going through external rotation into internal rotation. 10 reps on each letter. We're next going to move into counter push-ups, just like we did on our push day. This is just to get blood flow in general in the upper body, because like I said, in our push day, we're going to jump into these movements because we just don't have the option for doing a lower loading set. So 20 reps on the counter push-ups. Then we're going to go into bird dog. So we're going to get down on hands and knees with the right arm extending up into shoulder extension, and the left leg will go back into hip extension. So it's alternate hand, leg. Then we're going to switch and go with the other arm and leg. 20 reps total. We're going to go through that one more time, one more round of that, so 2 rounds total. That's going to be our warm-up. Now, into back day we go. This first exercise I had to come up with, it probably be done before somewhere. Basically, I don't have a pull-up bar. I've looked all around my house. My only option was bringing down my attic ladder and grabbing onto the attic railing, and I don't want to be 12 feet in the air. So the first option you can do if you just have body weight is doing a Lat Towel Slide. And so I put my knees on carpeted in my bedroom and went out onto the tile with a towel under my forearm. And so what you're going to do is go from a lat shortened position and extend the arms out overhead in front of you, preventing the chest from touching the ground. This is when you're going to have peak tension on the lats. It's going to involve some pec as well. And then drive the elbows back towards the hips. This is the closest that I can get to a good lat lengthened loaded position with just body weight. It is a pretty hard exercise. If you need some variations, you can just not go out as far into that hip extended position with the hands out in full overhead position as well. Your other option for this movement is if you have a pull-up bar. You could go to a park if you have a playground around your apartment. The other options is maybe if you have on your patio a post that goes across it, or even a tree branch would work if you wanted to do pull-ups in that way. And then my banded option that you can do is to hook a band to a higher position. And what I did was I hooked the band to my railing that's outside on my entry of my house and just performed a high pull and driving that elbow down towards the hip and extend that arm back up. And that's a very good option for a pull down. I do it single arm because the loading that I would need for 2 arms at the same time, I would pull myself off the ground. So 1 arm is a better option for that. And you can use a heavy enough band. And since you're doing 1 arm, you could even double the band if you need a ton of tension. And I was using a light band, and that was plenty, and I could hit failure with less than 20 reps doing it. We're gonna do 3 sets total on this exercise. I want all sets taken to failure. Next, we're gonna go to our horizontal rowing movement. And I have some options here for you. The first one for my bodyweight folks is doing a towel row. And so you can take a towel and wrap it around. Man, it could be anything. You could use a tree, you could use the railing on the entry of your house, you could use a patio post, and just have that towel wrapped around. Go into a squat position and fully let your scapulas protract around, extend the arms, and you're ready for the movement. And how you're gonna initiate it is by driving that elbows back and down and pulling your body up. But you want to keep your hips and your knees and everything locked in place, so it's only movement at the elbow and shoulder joint. These will work well if you just have body weight. The other body weight option is a little out there. So I have a shovel at my house, and I have 2 counters that are fairly close together, so I can do an inverted row, which I'm heavy, so I can have plenty of load to work with there. And I can put that shovel across my countertop with some towels underneath it, and it didn't snap, and I can do rows that way for a horizontal rowing movement. Another option, if you have bands, is just do a bent over row. Put the band underneath your feet and row, driving those elbows. Same principle, driving the elbows back and down, back towards the hip, and that'll be a good horizontal rowing movement. Again, on this one, 3 sets. I want all sets taken to failure. If you have all 3 options, start with the hardest one and work your way backwards so you can increase those reps as you go. The third movement we're gonna do, so we're gonna move into more of our traps and rear delt work now, and we can do a towel face pull. So kind of the same principle as that towel row. You're gonna get into a deep squat position with that towel hooked to a top railing or post or tree, and just perform a face pull. So pulling those hands back towards the eyes, you're gonna get into that shoulder, horizontal abduction, and a little bit of external rotation as well. And that'll really get the traps and the rear delts trained efficiently there. For those, we'll do 3 sets. So that'll be another compound movement for more upper back focus. Let's get into a little bit of isolation work. So the first isolation work I want to do is for rear delts. The one option you can do is a band pull apart. So if you have a few bands, just keep those elbows locked and just go through horizontal abduction. Don't let the scapulas retract together. You want to keep them slightly just protracted, keep the lats out, only moving and rotating at the shoulder. Now for my body weight guys, this one is very, very challenging, and I kind of just came up with something. It's not optimal by any means, but it does load the rear delt slightly. So you can lean into the wall, just keep your body completely locked, spine neutral, hips underneath the torso, and what you're gonna do is just rotate the trunk towards that arm. Horizontal adduction is what we're doing. Normally with the rear delt movement, you're moving the shoulder through it. For this movement, we're moving the torso, and that lean is creating a little bit of tension through gravity pulling the body. Again, it's not the greatest movement ever, but it does hit your rear delt and load them some. So it just gives you some option you can do if you don't have anything available for you. Next thing is we're gonna hit biceps. So for biceps, we can go back to our railing and our towel, get into your deep squat kneel position. You're gonna go wrap that towel around your railing, have the towel come around the outside of your thumb, so you'll be in a supinated position. Hands can be kind of close to your knees, and what you're gonna do is lean back onto your heels and then curl yourself back up and let yourself out. You can adjust the load by how far you're leaning back and how much onto your toes you're allowing yourself to be. The other option is the easy one if you have a band. Loop the band around the bottom of your heels and just perform a supinated standing bicep curl. So on the bicep curl, we're gonna do 3 sets on that one, and all sets taken to failure. Last thing, we're gonna hit abs again. So we want a total of 8 sets of abs over this next 4 days. So we had 4 sets on our leg day. We're doing 4 sets again today. And today we're gonna do a V-up. So just laying anywhere in your home, you're gonna go and just bring the torso up towards the ceiling, arms towards the sky, at the same time bringing and doing a leg raise. Mine look terrible. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good at these at all, but that is just one option. If what the idea of today was to have something with a little bit of like a leg raise, lower abdominal focus, because on our leg day we had a little bit more of a focus on the upper abdominal area. So another option could just be a leg raise, or even going into a leg raise and having some anterior pelvic tilt coming up. That could be another option for you as well. We're gonna do 4 sets here, get as many reps as you can. All right, guys. That was our leg push-pulls. Congratulations, you just completed your first rotation of exercises, and I hope it pushed you. Please let me know what you thought. I would love to hear your comments or anything else that you came up with. Share them below. I'm sure it's gonna help everyone else that's just at home with only body weight or bands. And what I would do next is take your off day tomorrow, and then you're gonna go back through the same rotation. And I hope you took your logbook and you wrote down these workouts, because I want you to go back and try to beat those reps. And that's how we're gonna make some progressive overload in the program. If you're comfortable with this level of volume and you're recovering well, hey John, that was easy, then you can move up to volume tier number 2, which will have just a few extra work sets in there for those guys that can handle a little bit more volume. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and I will talk to you again soon.